What do you get when you mix the reliability and the build quality of Japan's premier luxury brand with a burning desire to challenge the best German sports sedans at their own game? Well, you get the Lexus IS, of course. From its beginnings as a Japan-only model to its modern-day V8-powered glory, here's everything you need to know. The story of the Lexus IS didn't actually start with the Lexus nameplate at all. It was first introduced in Japan in 1998 as the Toyota Altezza. Lexus brought it to the US in 2001, giving it the new name IS 300. This wasn't just another luxury sedan, it was a direct head-on challenge to the dominant European players, namely the BMW 3 Series and the Audi A4. Lexus wanted to go straight after the market leader, and the IS was their weapon. It was also rear-wheel drive, which was a clear signal that this Lexus was engineered for a proper sporty feel. This was a completely new strategy for Lexus. The company's reputation had been built on supreme quietness and comfort with models like the flagship LS 400. The first IS 300 was a stark departure, an anti-Lexus designed for a younger, more dynamic audience. The true soul of the first generation was the engine tucked under its hood. It was powered by a 3-liter DOHC 24-valve straight-six with the famous internal code 2JZGE. Lexus didn't need to reinvent the wheel here. This engine was a direct lineage from the old Toyota Supra and was also found in the larger Lexus GS 300. It produced 215 horsepower and 218 pound-feet of torque. The use of the 2JZ engine had a major ripple effect. While the stock 0 to 60 time was a respectable 7.1 to 7.8 seconds. The engine's reputation for being a stout, robust workhorse that could handle massive amounts of power from forced induction made it an instant favorite in the tuner community. This engineering choice, whether fully intentional or not, cemented its legacy as a sleeper sedan and a reliable platform that was begging for modifications. Its design was also a big part of its identity. It featured the now iconic clear lens taillights that became a massive aftermarket trend in the early 2000s. A neat tidbit is that for a while a wagon version called the Sport Cross was also available in the US. It's interesting how Lexus was trying to break the mold and appeal to a completely different demographic. While a BMW 3 Series might have had a sharper edge on the racecourse, the IS excelled on realistic urban and suburban roads. It was praised for its build quality and a tight, very slick feel. This established the IS as a compelling alternative, the underdog that offered a robust engine and legendary reliability without the high repair costs associated with its German competitors.
Building the fastest car in its class doesn't mean leaving intelligence, beauty, and control behind. IS from Lexus.
When the second generation arrived for the 2006 model year, it was a complete redesign. The car was bigger, sleeker, and more refined than the original. It was built on the new Toyota N platform and was stretched to provide more interior space, directly addressing one of the biggest criticisms of the first generation. This generation also took a step closer to the core Lexus identity by adding new technologies like adaptive cruise control, keyless entry, and more. The Sport Cross wagon unfortunately was dropped from the US lineup. This redesign marked a strategic shift for the IS. While it retained the sporty character, it moved closer to the traditional luxury playbook, aiming to become a sales leader in its segment, rather than just a brand halo car. It was now a well-rounded, technologically advanced luxury sedan designed for a broader audience. The new engines were V6s, and they were a major talking point. It now had two main variants, the IS 250 and the IS 350. The IS 250 was powered by a 2.5-liter V6 that made around 204 horsepower and 185 pound-feet of torque. This was enough to get the car from 0 to 60 in a little under 8 seconds. The IS 350, on the other hand, was a real performer. It came with a 3.5-liter V6 that put out a much more substantial 310 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque, allowing it to hit 60 miles per hour in 5.6 seconds. Now, here's a crucial tidbit that every enthusiast should know. A lot of Lexus fans tell people to stay away from the IS 250. It has a common reliability issue: carbon buildup. The problem stems from a lack of port injectors on the 250's engine, a design flaw that was fixed on the IS 350, which uses both direct and port injection. This is a perfect example of a nuanced engineering choice that has significant long-term implications. And then, in 2008, Lexus unleashed a beast, the ISF, a direct competitor to the legendary M3. The ISF was powered by a 5-liter V8 engine that produced 416 horsepower and 371 pound-feet of torque. With a super-fast 8-speed automatic transmission, it could rocket from 0 to 60 in just 4.6 seconds and hit a top speed of 170 miles per hour. It was a serious machine, with unique features like fender bulges, side air vents, and stacked quad exhaust tips. It showed the world that Lexus was serious about competing with the performance divisions of the German brands. The stock V8 was actually restricted for noise and emissions, which meant there was a ton of untapped power just waiting to be found. It's fascinating because the car's ECU was near impossible to tune for a long time, creating a barrier for the aftermarket community that its German rivals didn't have. The third generation arrived for the 2014 model year. Its new design was a bold move, defined by one key element: that massive, aggressive spindle grille. This design language was, and still is, highly polarizing. In 2016, it received a significant facelift that updated the grille and the infotainment system. Then, in 2020, it got another major refresh that connected the rear taillights into a single thin strip across the back. It also brought a new engine lineup to the party. The base model, the IS 300, now comes with two engine choices. The rear-wheel drive version is powered by a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 that makes 241 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. It's good for a 0 to 60 time of 6.9 seconds. The all-wheel drive version, however, gets a different engine, a detuned 3.5-liter V6 that produces 260 horsepower. The IS 350 is where the power really ramps up. It uses a more potent version of the 3.5-liter V6, putting out 311 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. It hits 60 miles per hour in just 5.7 seconds. This suggests that Lexus is not trying to win the spec sheet war. Instead, they're prioritizing other qualities, like the V6's silky smooth feel and a balanced driving experience over raw acceleration numbers. It's a different approach, appealing to a different kind of buyer. And then, in a move that no one saw coming, Lexus surprised the world with the IS 500F Sport Performance. It brought back that glorious, naturally aspirated V8. It uses the same 5-liter V8 engine from the legendary ISF, but it's been tuned to produce an even more impressive 472 horsepower and 395 pound-feet of torque. This incredible engine, paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission, gives the car a fast 0 to 60 time of just 4.4 seconds. It also has the signature stacked quad exhaust tips that produce a ferocious roar you just have to hear to believe. The IS 500 is a perfect example of smart market positioning. It exists in a new category for the brand F-Sport Performance, bridging the gap between the IS 350 and the more expensive track-focused RCF. It gives enthusiasts the one thing they really want: a naturally aspirated V8, without the full cost of a dedicated performance car. The reviews and owner feedback consistently praise the V8 engine sound and its visceral driving experience. This is a direct competitive advantage. While rivals like the Audi and BMW might be faster on a spec sheet, They lack the oral and the sensory drama of a V8 engine. This shows that for a certain type of buyer, the emotional connection to the driving experience is more important than winning a drag race. The IS 500 proves that Lexus understands this niche. So, what do you think? I mean, a car that gives you both a glorious sound and the peace of mind to drive it to 400,000 miles is pretty special, isn't it?